And at face value, my vote on these issues don't entirely tell the whole story, don't really tell a story of the true love and compassion that I have for people in that community, or the true love and compassion that I have, especially for young people who are struggling, not just in this manner, but in struggling in general. But Mr. Speaker, love and compassion is truth. I told a story earlier this week on how I got a chance to run through mud puddles with my little niece. Well, we were next to the main road right there in Mexico, Maine, and I held her hand. I didn't hold her hand because I hated her. I held her hand because I loved her, and I didn't want her to run into traffic. We don't tell our kids that they can or can't do things because we hate them or because we're scared of them. We set boundaries for them because we love them. And the love and the truth that I have for these young people who are struggling with this is what forces me to stand and rise today and say that there is another option. And right now, to allow 16 and 17-year-olds without any guidance to just go and do things that are going to permanently change their lives, like what we just heard from Prisha Mosley, who she began her own transition at 17. And then just a few years later realized, what have I done? But her body's permanently changed. The good part of the story is she just went on last year and she did have a child. She gave birth. But I would strongly encourage members of this body to go read that article that I quoted from the New York Times that talked about the physical agony that she went through because her hips had narrowed, her body wasn't fit to carry a child, that she lays her healthy son on her chest and she doesn't feel anything because her skin is numb, that her milk is coming in, but her milk has become hard rocks on her chest that are incredibly painful because there's no nipple there for the milk to come out of. We have young people in our state who are struggling, they're in anguish, they're hurting, they're broken internally. And we need to make sure that we're pointing them in the right direction so they're not making these life-altering decisions that permanently change them. I'm not saying this because I hate them or I'm transphobic. I'm saying this because I love them. I don't want them to scar themselves and change themselves and mar themselves and rob themselves of a perfectly healthy sex life or a marriage or a family or children. And this is a real reality. I had a lot more to say, and I think I said more than I intended. I guess that's what happens when your heart takes over, but I will say that there have been many sentiments shared in this last week about the brain development of young people and how they don't make decisions. They don't make the best decisions when they're younger. And I will quote one thing. This was a quote that was made by a representative that actually introduced the bill, LD 1113, an act regarding fairness in sentencing for persons under 26 years of age. And that representative quoted, "The transformative potential of young people is undeniable. Given that their brains are still developing, they are capable of profound positive change and can overcome their past actions to lead healthy, productive lives. Other states have led the way in this area. That's in reflection to the criminal record side of things. And I know that many of the sentiments that representative gave in introducing LD 1113 in the Judiciary Committee have been echoed in this chamber. And I would just urge colleagues, although I hate the term urge my colleagues, I would urge my colleagues to stay true to logical consistency and please vote down this measure.